Hello everyone, it is Susan here from Suehiles Art, and welcome to my Monday Crafty Chit Chat and Slow Stitching video, which I put out every single week. And today I'm super excited to work on the last block for my wall hanging. So we're gonna get the composition done, maybe add a couple pieces of something, and I also have decided to do this. Okay, so this block is the only block that has this color. Now, the reason I selected the color was because of the flower here and also the flower here in this fabric. But when I look at this piece with the rest of the pieces, it just stands out a little bit too much for my liking. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to remove, which I almost never remove something. I don't know if I ever remember removing something I've already stitched. It's possible, but I don't recall it right now. But I am going to remove these two pieces and replace it with this. So this is, it's just heavy yarn that I got at Michael's. And it was on, I got for like $3, like a whole skein of it. Well, I got multiple colors, but each skein was like $3. So I decided to use this color instead. So we're basically just going to replace what is on here right now with this. So I wanted to do that today as well. But the first thing I want to do is my favorite thing to do, and that is the composition of this block. In last week's video, we worked on this, but today I want to pin it down and kind of have a finalized composition. So a lot of it I already know where I want it, but what I think I want to do is add to it. So for example, like this one, like there's small pieces, right? There's a bunch of smaller pieces throughout, and I like that look. So I think that's what I want to do with this. But let's go ahead and let me get my pins here, and let's go ahead and start pinning. I know I want this piece over here. And again, these fabrics were from a bundle that I had purchased from Susan Taylor Brown. And I do want to make sure that I can still see the fraying on the side of this base fabric, because I like the fraying, so I definitely want to keep that. And all right, I know I want this piece up here, so we can pin that. Okay, so far so good. Now this piece I do want here. I do have to decide if I want this fabric over or under right here. And I'm thinking over. I think I like that. Let me just pull it over just a little bit. And I like that it's not lining up, even with this right here, that it's actually overlapping, because otherwise, I mean, not that I don't do this, but you know, if you have everything that lines up perfectly, to me, sometimes that just looks too uniform. And so I like having it where it overlaps just a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and pin this down, because I like that there, but I do think I'm going to end up putting something over this, or not fully over the whole piece, but a little bit. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But let's see. I don't know. I don't know. Now we have this, which is a very, very, very worn, it is threadbare piece of, it feels like a silk scarf, kind of. So I'm just gonna heat up my iron because I wanna iron a couple things. But let's go ahead and cut this. I should probably iron it first, right? But will I? That is the question. And I'm gonna go a little bit longer than I probably need to. And let's see if this will tear. I think this will, oh yeah. Oh, that was like butter. That's what that was. So, all right, let's iron this. And I think I have to be a little careful with this only because it is so threadbare. It's very, very dainty, delicate piece of fabric. All right. So if I bring this back over, keeping the fraying very visible. Well, you know, I do like that. I do. Now it's covering up this flower right here. So that might bother me, but I really love all of that fraying going on right here. So for now, I'm gonna leave it like that. And I don't wanna burn my hand on the iron, so let me move that. So, all right, we're gonna put that there. Oh, it's just so delicate. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I think what I'm going to do is, since I have my iron here, I'm gonna just iron this piece a little bit. This piece right here feels like taffeta and wrinkles super easily. And I probably just wrinkled it again, but all right, so we're getting there. We're doing good. Now, I know I want this piece down here because I did want to have some sort of like a striped effect on it, and I might even add more, but for now, let's go ahead and cut this to size. And let's see, how do I want to do this? I'll measure it like this. And we'll go ahead and tear this as well. Okay. And, I don't like the really plain edge right there. I really don't. I really want more fraying going on. Let me see if I can get this to fray any. If not, I think I'm going to get a different piece. Let me see. Let's see. I don't know. Well, you know what I can do? So if I have this as the bottom, because it is frayed already, this side has some fraying. The top does not, and this side does not. So these two sides need a little bit of help. Now I could tear just a smidge off here, but when you're tearing something that is this thin, this narrow, it's hard to tear. And a lot of times you can't, or at least I can't. My fingers are not the strongest. Oh, see, I can't even tear it. So I think what I'll do, I'm gonna go from this side and try, because as you can see, even though it's not really tearing properly, it is getting a little bit of the fraying going on. So let me just keep going here. And I'm going to tear a little bit again, or try to. And I'm not tearing it at all, honestly. It's just, it's coming right out of my hand. But, oops. But at least it'll give it a little bit more interest down here. I'm hoping that it gives me what I'm looking for. All right, so it's a little bit more rugged, right? I'm just going to kind of pull it and play with it just a little bit. And then that leaves this edge over here. And of course, right now I have thread everywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if I have that like that, then I'm going to try to do the same thing here, except here I can go a little bit wider, and this should tear. Oh, it's a little, oh, my fingers, I'm telling you. If I have arthritis, it's in my fingers, and it just makes it difficult to tear. Oh, I so much want to tear this. I don't want to give up. I'm determined. I just can't grab it the right way. Oh, yeah, no, I'm thinking this isn't going to work. Let me try from this side. Okay, so that I got. Okay, so now I have it, and it's a little messy, and I like that. Ooh, I like it a lot, actually. So I'm going to iron this now that I've made it a total disaster. Oh my gosh. All right. In fact, the edges that I just tore, I like better than the edges that were there. So we're going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to place this like that. Or should I place it like that to where the rougher edge is on the side? I think I like it like that better. Let me get rid of some of these threads here. Okay, so I do like that. So let's get that pinned down. All right. And one more. And then we're going to play just a little bit with some smaller pieces of fabric. And I think I'll go ahead and iron this little piece as well. This is another piece of some sort of a scarf. Very, very, very also threadbare fabric, because I might want to pull some of that in. But I think, well, I know I want to pull this in. So maybe something there. I like this stripe here, but maybe I could even pull in a little piece of this. I don't know. Let me just kind of fold it up a little bit and just kind of hold it there to see. I don't know. You know what? Let me look through my scraps and let's see. So I could even pull in something like this. I can pull in a piece of the lace. I'm going to do that because this lace right here I have on other pieces. Yeah, so see, something like that I really like. So it just kind of breaks up this big piece right here. I do have this as well. I don't know. Let's see what else is here. I like this, but I don't want to make the block really yellow. Oh, here's a little piece of canvas. Here's like the, oh, I like this. I love, you know, just like with scrapbook paper, how you have that manufacturer's strip on the end. Well, you know, fabric has, I think they call it the salvage piece of it, and I just love working with that. So let me remove this for a second, and let me see. We could do something like that. Maybe I can add that, and then maybe add that, kind of like cut it like there and there. I like that. Let's do that. So I'm just going to cut that piece. just to break up the blocks just a little bit. That's all I'm trying to do. Give a little bit more interest. So something like that. That I like. I feel like I have a lot of horizontal going on here, and I feel like I need something vertical. But I don't know. I don't know. Let's kind of look here again. I feel like I need more, well, maybe more of this brown that we ironed. So can I pull in a little bit of this? I mean, look at how gorgeous like the flower is right here. I could cut it in half like this. Would I be able to pull this in? Something like that. Oh, I like that. And then could I still do this? I could. It might have to look a little different than how I just had it. Okay, I'm going to tear this in half. So it'll leave me another half that is also going to be perfect for another project. So hopefully, let's see, this should tear nice and easily. Ooh, look at that, it tore right off the top. Oh no. Oops. Oh no. Oh my gosh, that's how delicate this is. I mean, I can literally see through it. No, it wants to tear sideways. Isn't that interesting? I can actually feel it pulling the thread like sideways, but I'm just gonna cut it, which I don't want to do. I'd rather tear it. But wow, 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 wow. Oh my gosh. That didn't work as expected. All right, so now let's see. So I could do, it doesn't have to be even. I like that. I like that. I like that. And then maybe pull in a smaller piece of that. Okay, we got it. I like that. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to pin these down as well, because I do like this. You know, I think I'm going to turn my iron off now, and let me just kind of move that out of the way. And I use just a little steam fast portable iron. It's meant for travel. And okay, so we're going to put that there. We're going to put this piece here. We're going to put this piece here. So a lot going on. Some of this is going to come off before it actually gets sewn down, right? Because I have to figure out how I'm going to sew all of this. I'm sure I'll do the cantha stitch, which I love to do, and I always do that. But what I also like to do, and you have all seen this before, is I like to go, like, some of it is horizontal, some is vertical. Then I like to do, like, I have French knots, I have the cross stitch. So yeah, I like to add different stitches. I do like this right up here. Let me move this back over. I do like this right here. So I'm going to just pin that there. Now, what I do, and I don't know if you all do this, when you're working on a project, and it doesn't matter if it's fabric or paper or what it is, but when you're working on something, do you come back to it, say, during the week and look at it and make changes to it? So, like, I could come back and say, oh, I don't really like that there. And then I could you know, change it before I sew it. Oh, look at how pretty that and that looks together. Beautiful. All right, and then I have, because I put a yo-yo on every single one of these blocks, I have my yo-yo. And I took out these buttons. Now, these are fairly green in color, these three, and I think I did that because the other blocks, well, not all of them, have green. So the green is a common color in this wall hanging. Not that I have to use those, but here's a button I thought I might want to use. And I feel like I need some lace. So let me see. I can grab this, and let's see if we can pull. Well, see, white isn't good. Well, is it? This actually has a little bit of yellow on it. How cool is that? That could actually go up there. I like that. That was easy. That was super easy. So that could go up there. Now I don't know where that will go. And I don't have to decide that today. But let me see what else I have here. Well, I have this, I have that, and they're different colors, and I'm okay with that. Let me see. Let me see if there's anything. Well, you know what? I have this. Is there anything I can pull in that might work? Let me try something from this pack, from Recollections, 99 cents on clearance, I'm sure. And this is old. I don't see a year on it, but I've had this for a long time. And let's see if there's something I can pull without, because I have to remember this is simplistic. So it's becoming unsimplistic at this point. So maybe I shouldn't pull in anything else like that, because this is a lot. This has a lot going on. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to add buttons somewhere on here, at least one. It doesn't have to be all of these. And like now that I'm playing with this, like this piece of fabric down here has a bit of a green tone to it. So maybe putting the buttons down there would be good. And not even use the yellow button. That's a possibility. But I still need to get the yo-yo on here. I have to. Because like I said, I have a yo-yo on every single block. I like that. I think that that is looking pretty good. Simplistic? Not necessarily. Will it go with the rest of these? Let me just pull this over a little bit. And I don't mean go as in it has to match. I just mean, does it have the same feel to it? Like what I'm noticing from this is like this brown is really sticking out, but that's good because I have a lot of brown. These look really nice together. Anything will go with this piece. This looks good. This was right because I remember from last week's video I was going to have this piece up in the upper right and this piece down in the lower left. And the reason was because of all the yellow in this piece and the yellow in that piece. It was going to kind of work off of one another and kind of balance each other out. So I thought that that was really good. And you know what? And I like it. I don't think it's too busy. I think it's going to be perfect. And so I'm going to kind of go with this. Okay. Okay. Will it change? Probably. But this is a really good start. And yeah. So what I'll do next is I'll start stitching all of these pieces down. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. And let's go ahead and, I'm going to say fix this, because this just was not the right color for the wall hanging. It's just not. So let's go ahead. And this is called couching, where you can take anything really and just stitch over it and, you know, create the effect like this. All right, so there we go. So that's off. And let's take this piece off. So on another note, I wanted to ask you guys, does anybody have a good recipe or good recipes for homemade from scratch desserts? And when I say desserts, I'm not looking for anything fancy. I am looking for a good brownie recipe that I can make from scratch. And I like things to be easy. So something easy is good. And like even a basic chocolate cake and vanilla cake. Now you're going to say, well, why don't you just look on YouTube? Well, I have. I've come to the conclusion at this point in time that I am not a baker. And I want to be a baker. I want to not have to rely on, you know, a box from the store. Not that there's anything terribly wrong with that. But I want to do it myself. I want to know what ingredients are going into it. And I want to be able, like, to just, let me just cut this, to be able to walk into my kitchen and make something without having to rely on having a box of something that I bought. I want to be able to just make something just on the fly, right? And I have tried many recipes. And like the Preppy Kitchen, John Cannell, I don't know if you guys know him, but I really like his style and everything. But I don't know what it is. I just like growing radishes. I can't do that either. But let me find some. What kind of thread am I going to use here? Let's see. I think just brown. I think I have a piece maybe over here. Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm just going to use this yarn. So I'll go ahead and thread this. But anyway, so I have a lot of easy recipes from YouTube, and I've tried a lot of them multiple times. There is one thing that I can make really well, and it happens to be a rather more involved kind of pie. It's called a French silk pie, and also from John Cannell. And yeah, so that is one thing that I actually can make, but it's it takes a lot of time. And like, that's something that I can do for you know, holidays, that kind of thing, for special occasions. And so I'm looking for, like, the other night, I'm like, wow, I would really love brownies. And of course I don't have brownie mix because, well, I don't. And so I'm like, well, let me look on YouTube. And I found a brownie mix and I made it. It was John Cannell's The Preppy Kitchen. And it came out okay, but it's not one that I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. It was easy. I could do this anytime. It wasn't like that. I mean, it was easy and it is something that I could make at any time, but it just didn't turn out exactly like I wanted it to. It was maybe a little heavier, fudgier than I was looking for. And I do love a fudgy brownie. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't really like the cake kind of brownie. I do like the fudgy, but this one was super fudgy and I cooked it an extra 5 minutes. So, yeah. But anyway, so, and even like the chocolate cake, I mean, I have the recipes, but when I make it, it's not like super moist or anything when I do the cakes, even the vanilla cake, even the icing. The icings, the recipes that I have, they come out so sweet, so I don't know. So I'm asking all of you if you have some good recipes. And like, I don't know if it will allow you, if YouTube will allow you to put a link in a comment. I know I can, but I don't know if you can put a link in my comment. But if you have, that almost looks like hair, like human hair, doesn't it? Oh, it's a little freaky, actually. If you have a recipe, whether it's a YouTube link or even a recipe just to, a website, and if YouTube will allow you to post it in the comments, please do. And, or at least tell me where to find it, and then I can go and look myself. But like, I just want the basics. I want a good brownie recipe. Maybe, well, definitely a good chocolate cake recipe, a good vanilla cake recipe, a good vanilla icing recipe, and a chocolate icing recipe. I mean, those are like the basics, right? Because like, say I wanted to have somebody over for coffee, and I just want to whip something together, and I want it to be homemade because, well, wouldn't it be nice to serve a guest something homemade? Except that I just find everything super sweet. Even the cakes, actually, and the cakes are even not quite moist enough for me. It sounds weird, but the boxed cakes, I think, actually taste better than what I've been doing. So I need help. Obviously, I need help. And so if you guys have any information for me, let me know. And I appreciate that very, very, very much. Even like, I love a blueberry pie. Oh my gosh, the other thing I cannot bake for the life of me is a muffin. And I don't care what kind it is, blueberry, cranberry. I cannot bake a muffin. They come out like hockey pucks. and, and I need a good muffin recipe, one I can do. And maybe the issue is it's just me and I'm doing something wrong. So if you even have tips on baking, yeah, I know that sometimes weather can have something to do with it. Like if my counter is cold, which it is because I live in New Jersey, that it can make like a difference, like with maybe how soft the butter is, or the temperature of eggs, or the temperature of a dough, something like that. So I know that it can affect it because John Cannell talks about that. And again, he's the Preppy Kitchen on YouTube, and he's wonderful. Yeah, so I need your help there. Oh my gosh, look at this. Okay, so we're doing really good. Now you see how much better that looks together? See that? Yep. Yeah, it's just more cohesive. So I like that. Perfect. All right. So you know what? Next week, what did I do with my block? Here it is. We'll finish. Oops, I just lost my buttons. We'll go ahead and finish this one up. And then we're going to sew all the blocks together. And then I'm going to hang it on my wall. And I'll be sure to share with you, you know, where I hang it so you can see the final result. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions. And I will see you for another video or two this week. And I'm working on my flower pots for the Roxy Journal of Stitchery. So I've got that figured out. And I know what I'm going to do for my Friday video. So I guess I'll see you Wednesday and Friday, as long as all goes well in the family. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here. I so much appreciate each and every one of you. All right, God bless everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.